Wait, is that money? How did it end up here, in the middle of all this trash? Once, a powerful politician kept his secret money hidden inside a mattress. One day, his wife Vanessa got angry and threw the mattress away. She yelled, "Richard, what are you hiding? I know you're cheating on me." Richard, who was drunk, just scoffed and ignored her. He didn't realize that Mattress held his hidden fortune, bundles of cash in pounds, euros, and dollars. The mansion looked grand from the outside, with shiny cars and expensive furniture. But behind those gates, Richard was a corrupt man, taking bribes and cutting corners. He was feared and hated by many, though he pretended to be kind in public. That afternoon, he left his office with a thick envelope of money meant for the community. Instead of going home, he went to a hotel to meet his mistress, Anita. They drank and laughed, ignoring Vanessa's calls on his phone. Anita whispered, "Forget her. You are mine tonight." Richard agreed, and they enjoyed their night together. Back in their big house, Vanessa lay awake in their bed. The room was cold, and Richard was gone. She tried calling him, but he didn't answer. She knew where he was, probably with another woman. Memories of happier days haunted her. She remembered when Richard used to hold her hand and called her his queen. Now there was only silence and lies. Her phone buzzed with a message from a friend, but she ignored it and buried her face in her hands. She whispered, "Why am I still here?" Meanwhile, in the refuse dump outside the city, David, a homeless man, was digging through trash. His clothes were torn and his face was dirty. He picked up a crushed bottle and then paused, staring at the mountain of garbage. His mind drifted back to better days when he was a banker, respected and proud. But everything changed one morning when he was told he was laid off. His wife Grace had comforted him, saying, "We will be fine." Then a fire destroyed their home and savings, leaving them with nothing but ashes. They moved into an unfinished building, sleeping on the floor and hoping for better days. That day, David saw something unusual in the trash: a mattress. Tired and sore, he dropped his sack and dragged the heavy mattress closer to their makeshift home. When Grace saw it, she was shocked. "David, where did you find this?" she asked. He smiled proudly. "Beside the trash. We won't sleep on the ground anymore." They didn't realize that inside the mattress was Richard's secret stash of money, bundles of foreign currency. The next morning, Grace cut open the mattress and found stacks of cash. Their eyes widened with shock and hope. "David, this is real money," she whispered. But she was worried. "We can't keep it. Someone might be searching for it." David insisted, "It's ours now. No one will come for it. We need it to rebuild our lives." They agreed to keep the money quietly, taking only small amounts at a time, and used it to buy food and plan their future. Grace opened a small shop, and David bought land. Slowly, they moved into a modest house and started a new life filled with hope. Back at the mansion, Richard was frantic. He shouted at everyone, blaming Vanessa for throwing away his secret money. Vanessa felt guilty but was too proud to admit her mistake. Richard's fortune was gone now, and the mansion was emptying of servants and supplies. Their fights grew worse, and Richard's political career was collapsing as government funds dried up. He blamed Vanessa, and she blamed him. Their beautiful home became a prison of anger and regret. One morning, Vanessa decided to forgive Richard. She approached him softly and said, "Richard, I'm sorry. I didn't know what was inside that mattress. Please forgive me." Richard looked at her, surprised by her words. He then admitted, "It's my fault. I caused all this." They both apologized, not with pride, but with humility. Richard sold most of his cars, closed part of the mansion, and started a small business. Vanessa reopened her sewing machine, and they began to rebuild their lives in honesty and peace. Meanwhile, David and Grace's lives flourished. Their small shop grew, and they bought a simple but comfortable home. They remembered their days of hardship and stayed humble. In December, they decorated their new house for Christmas and planned a trip to Paris as a gift. David laughed and said, From sleeping on the floor to vacationing in Paris, God truly lifted us. Grace kissed his cheek and said, "Let's never forget our journey." Two couples. One lost everything through anger and pride, but found humility in the end. The other gained wealth by chance and kept it with wisdom and patience. The mattress had changed both their lives forever. Richard and Vanessa's world was falling apart, while David and Grace were rising again. Wait, is that money? How did it end up here, in the middle of all this trash? One morning, Vanessa sat quietly waiting for Richard. When he finally came down, she softly said, "Richard, I'm sorry. I didn't know what was inside that mattress." Richard paused, then sighed. "It's I who should ask for forgiveness," he said. They both realized they had been wrong, and for the first time in years, they genuinely apologized. Richard decided to sell his mansion and live simply. Vanessa went back to sewing, and their lives slowly became peaceful again. They learned to survive not in wealth, but in understanding. Across town, David and Grace's new life thrived. Their small shop grew, and they lived modestly but happily. They remembered their days of hardship and stayed humble, never forgetting how far they had come. One morning, Vanessa and Richard met peacefully. Richard looked at her and said, "I'm sorry for everything." Vanessa nodded, tears in her eyes. They both realized that humility and forgiveness had started to heal their broken hearts. Their lives had changed, all because of the secret hidden inside the mattress, the secret that once brought ruin and then, unexpectedly, hope.